Hi there, I'm your playwright-in-residence, Andy Black, and welcome to The Play's the Thing. I'm a playwright and I teach playwriting. I'm currently working on my PhD in theater and performance studies at the University of Missouri in Columbia, Missouri. This video is part of a series on topics related to playwriting. In a previous video, I provided a list of sources where playwrights frequently get ideas for plays. As a quick review, here are the sources. The collective unconscious, or borrowing an existing plot from a familiar story. Your own personal history or biography. Historical events. A social or political issue. Pure inspiration. Now, last time I talked about the collective unconscious as a source of ideas and some of the advantages and potential pitfalls of using that source for your play. This time, I'll talk about writing a play based on something from your own personal history or biography. Now, people often come into my playwriting classes having had the experience of someone telling them they should write a play about something that happened to them. You may be one of those people. First, I'll provide a couple of examples of well-known plays that use this source for their content. A recent hit on Broadway was a play called What the Constitution Means to Me. Now, this play was written and performed by the American actor and playwright Heidi Schreck. Schreck experienced a great deal of success with the play. It was nominated for a Tony Award and was a finalist for the Pulitzer Prize.
When I was 15 years old, I would travel the country giving speeches about the Constitution at American Legion halls for prize money. This was a scheme invented by my mom to help me pay for college. I would travel to big cities like Denver and Fresno. I would give a speech, win a whole bunch of money, and then bring it back to put in my little safety deposit box for later. I was actually able to pay for my entire college education this way. Thank you.
The play basically answers the question, what happened to Heidi Schreck in the 30 years since she started making those speeches, and how does she feel about the Constitution today? Fundamentally, her play is a one-woman show inspired by her own experiences in life. She directly takes the content of her own life and presents it on stage as dramatic text. Other writers have been successful in this way. Lisa Crone and Spalding Gray are two more. Now, a second approach for using one's personal history as a source of material was taken by well-known playwright Neil Simon. After having had years of success with light comedic material, Simon delved into his own personal history for a series of plays sometimes called the Eugene Trilogy: Brighton Beach Memoirs, Biloxi Blues, and Broadway Bound. Now, these plays are inspired by Neil Simon's own life. However, the events have been fictionalized for the stage. The characters' names have been changed, and every detail of the events is not the same as they transpired in real life. This approach allowed Simon to take artistic and dramatic license to ensure that the events, as they unfolded on the stage, would capture an audience's attention. So, you can be successful with a play based on your personal history, and there are a few advantages to using your own personal experiences as source material. For one, people often say, write what you know. And what do you know better than your own life? Other kinds of plays may require the writer to do a lot of research in order to write them. This source of material is an exception. Secondly, people are often passionate about ideas from their own experience in ways they're not passionate about other ideas. Your passion can drive you and fuel your writing and your process. Finally, the writing can often be therapeutic. As you write about yourself or events you're familiar with, you may come to a better understanding of the events yourself, and that better understanding can fuel the power of the theme you're writing about, whatever it may be. There are disadvantages to writing a play stimulated by your own experiences, though. The sad problem with real life is that it often lacks a compelling narrative arc. Simply recounting the experiences exactly as they happened is not in and of itself going to provide a powerful narrative. The writer still needs to employ the tools of narrative to tell the story effectively. I'll be talking more about some of those tools of narrative in a future video. You may also be so close to your own life story that it becomes difficult for you to tell it. As you dive into your own history, you may discover that it's difficult to write about it without getting lost or even dredging up personal pain that keeps you from being able to move forward. And if you do move forward, it can become difficult to tell whether you're creating a work of art for others or simply using the process to discover your own truth. There are times in the theater when I felt held hostage to the playwright's need to work out a personal issue at the audience's expense. Further, there's a certain amount of rejection associated with creating a work of art. If you're sensitive to rejection, those feelings are bound to be increased if the work is of an intensely personal nature. Finally, a personal story often involves others, family members or friends whose stories you're also telling by association. Managing the reactions of friends and families to your telling of their story can be challenging, particularly if some people are cast in an unflattering light. Using Neil Simon's technique of fictionalizing the events can help a little, though it's hard not to imagine that all of Neil Simon's family members were immediately able to spot themselves in his plays.
I need bread. What? I don't have enough bread. Run across the street to Greenblatt's, get a fresh rye bread.
Again, I went to the store this morning.
So you'll go again this afternoon.
I'm always going to the store. When I grow up, that's all I'll be trained to do, go to the store.
You don't want to go? Never mind, I'll go.
Don't do that. Don't make me feel guilty. I'll go.
And get a quarter pound of butter.
I bought a quarter pound this morning. Why don't you buy a half pound at a time?
And suppose the house burned down this afternoon. Why do I need an extra quarter pound of butter?
Feeling obligated to protect family members or others by softening the impact of the story can result in a play that lacks power. I'm currently working on a play myself right now, which is based on my own personal history, and I'll say that I've been writing plays for nearly 20 years now. I waited that long to take on such a personal topic. Now, you need to follow your own muse and see where it leads you, but I would hate for any writer to tackle as a first project a project which is so psychologically difficult that it might never get finished. An intensely personal project might be better for a later effort once you have developed your skill and craft. So, that's all for today. And for fun, I'm going to leave you with a prompt. One way to start with personal material is to choose subjects that are less psychologically weighty. I'm going to ask you to get out your notebook and make a list of family experiences. Cast a wide net and list maybe 8 to 10. And then look back over that list and see if you can find an anecdote that has a funny or a poignant quality to it, one which would not require you to dig deeply into the depths of your soul if you were to write about it. And then see if you can fashion a short scene or perhaps a 10-minute play on that topic or based on that anecdote. And the next time we get together, we'll look at a third place that playwrights might get ideas for plays: historical events. If you want to follow me on social media, please do. I can be found on Facebook at Andrew Black Playwright. My Twitter handle is @AndyPlaywright, and my website is www.andrewblackplaywright.com. As always, I've enjoyed sharing my thoughts and ideas with you, and I hope you've enjoyed hearing them. I look forward to the next time, and until then, stay creative.